There are few things on this show I look forward to more than the arrival of this gentleman. You can read his musings in the Marina Times. He also goes back and forth from San Francisco to Los Angeles. He's a writer, longtime movie, television critic, music critic as well. And he is, again, alongside some of the biggest Niners fans I know, as a massive Niners fan. So for him, it's a big Super Bowl weekend. He comes and goes on a rainbow. He is Michael Snyder, everybody. Michael Snyder, welcome, sir.
Let me be the first to wish you and yours a happy Super Bowl Sunday. It is, after all, America's grandest and most revered holiday. Am I right? It's bigger than Christmas, let me tell you. And it's...
Well, it's true. I was going to say there's never been anything like it.
There's never been anything like this.
It's kind of like Christmas for those of us who are 49er fans. But you know what? It's not the only massive celebration this weekend. Oh. It is Mardi Gras weekend. The carnival in New Orleans is starting to reach fever pitch.
Sure.
This coming Tuesday is Fat Tuesday, which is Mardi Gras Day. Mardi Gras being French for Fat Tuesday. So, laissez les bon temps rouler.
Wow, look at you.
May those good times begin with a 49er triumph.
Because well done.
I need it, Mark. I need it so bad.
We all need it. Shanahan really needs it.
He needs it. We all need it. I want to see joy to this particular world, and we'll see how it goes. I love that Christian McCaffrey was named officially the National Football League's Offensive Player of the Year. That was very gratifying. He and Brock Purdy have been gathering the accolades, and now they have to bring it to the field and put down this Chiefs menace. I do think that there's one really fascinating aspect of this coming up on Sunday, and that's that the maggots are angry at Taylor Swift and they're angry at Travis Kelce. So they're not rooting for the Chiefs. But if the 49ers win, it's the land of fruits and nuts. They think that we're all progressive lunatics out here. They can't win. That actually warms my heart. But, by the way, Mark, have you heard the latest single from the Village? What was that guy? The Village Jigglers. Oh, I love them.
Yes.
The Village Jigglers, my favorite new band, and their great new hit single, Lauderdale Square.
It was what was it, Albert? It was the jiggle. What was it, Kim? It was the junk jiggler.
Junk jiggler.
Yeah, the Village
genital jiggler.
But he's from the Villages, right?
Is this? He's from the Villages. That's right.
The Village Jiggler.
Is Snyder's level better now, Albert, or is it still
Very
a little
good.
bit high? Okay, it's good. All right. So please proceed, sir.
Okay, let's talk some movies because, we need a little entertainment on Friday and Saturday before the big game. And if you aren't in New Orleans, and a shout out to all my New Orleans friends, where you at, as they say. I know we have listeners all over the world.
We do.
And we have them in Louisiana, and I know you're having a good time, and I am so jealous. But let me take a breath. Let's go to movies.
Yes, you're really spending a lot of time on Louisiana.
I loved it there when I've been there. I used to go every year, and now
I don't know if there's some kind of code involved. You sort of dwelled on Louisiana here in the New Orleans.
I know
Mardi Gras for a little longer than you do other things.
Well, they were an NFC rival for the 49ers for many years, and they're no longer in the same division. So
was there some Southern belle that you rolled around with down there that you want to share with us?
My bell was rung quite frequently.
All right. Please continue with
so
offerings.
Screenwriter Diablo Cody, who's had a pretty uneven career since busting out with the script to the clever and well-received 2017 pregnancy comedy Juno, is back. In fact, other than Tully, which was a smart 2018 dramedy she did with Charlize Theron playing this frazzled mom in need of a nanny's help, I've been singularly unimpressed by Cody's movies, regardless of the directors that she's worked with. I didn't like Jennifer's Body. I had problems with Young Adult, and Paradise was just a complete misfire, and she herself directed it. They were mediocre but smug, and now we have another mediocre, smug Cody project with Lisa Frankenstein, which is kind of a strained attempt to pay homage to teen horror comedies from the 1980s while putting a clumsy female empowerment spin on the proceedings. In other words, Diabluit. And Lisa Frankenstein doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Diablo it. Okay.
Yeah. So, Lisa Swallows, that's right, Lisa Swallows is her name. I guess that's good to know, is played by Catherine Newton, who I like, I think a good actress. And she, the character, is an outcast teenage girl in a suburban high school in the 80s, which allows for a bunch of poppy new wave needle drops and pastel clothes. We're living in a material world. It's
Well, don't say it like that. Those are good songs.
I'm just saying that's not one of the songs they use. I think Madonna would force them to. It would absolutely make them pay through the nose to use her music.
You just woo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the likelihood of this character having a prom date is minimal. She's kind of an outcast until she's hanging out in the local cemetery, as one does, and some kind of magical hand wavium revives the corpse of a once handsome young man who died many, many, many years ago. He's played by former Disney kid Cole Sprouse from the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. How I know that? I can't tell you. Of course, Lisa has the hots for this moldering, lumbering thing who seems like the perfect goth dreamboat, I guess, except for the fact that, he's dead and rotting. He keeps losing body parts, and that won't do, so Lisa decides to help him find and attach replacements regardless of the cost. Thus, Lisa Frankenstein.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So in addition to the feeble humor leaving me colder than a morgue, you need entirely too much suspension of disbelief to buy the premise as it's laid out. And for instance, there is no clear in-universe reason for Lisa to have the capabilities to successfully piece her decaying sweetheart back together. Okay, the colors pop, and Newton has shown talent in other movies. She's game for anything. Plus, the always welcome Carla Gugino plays Lisa's wicked stepmother, a necessity for a movie like this. But Cody's smirky stab at satire doesn't give Newton or Gugino much to work with. You remember the good Dr. Frankenstein crying, "It's alive, alive," in the classic 1930s movies?
Sure.
Well, Lisa Frankenstein is dead on arrival. And by the way, there is a Bay Area connection here, which makes me wish the movie was much better. It was directed by Zelda Williams, daughter of the late and lamented comedic master Robin Williams.
Oh, wow.
This is something you may want to watch on streaming, but it's in theaters, and I was very disappointed.
Well, you can make fun of the premise, but I actually like the premise. She falls in love with this guy who's dead, and he's losing body parts.
It doesn't work because, again, I mentioned this before, George Miller, the comedian,
buy the premise, buy the bit.
Yeah, and I just had a really tough time.
But all right.
Give me something
What else do you
that
have,
works
then?
in context, and it doesn't work in context. All right, we got to get on to something more worthwhile.
All right.
Drift is the title, and that's exactly what this movie does. Of course, it's grounded by the usual fine work of its lead, the acclaimed actress and singer Cynthia Erivo, and she plays a destitute Liberian refugee named Jacqueline who wanders around a Greek island in the aftermath of barely surviving a life-shattering event at her family's home in Africa. Her backstory and its consequences are powerful, but the movie's kind of sketchy, low-impedance nature requires one's full attention and patience as it follows Jacqueline on her generally sad journey.
Impedance and destitute.
Let me tell you, it's a pretty lonely trip until she meets a tour guide on the island, and the guide, played by Aaliyah Shawkat, is seemingly stuck where she is for reasons that are different from those that dog Jacqueline. Nonetheless, the two women are drawn to one another, and the tentative friendship that develops between them offers moments of very welcome warmth and a shred of hope for the downtrodden Jacqueline. Praise to Erivo and Shawkat, whose performances and chemistry bring value to Drift, which was directed in very languid, atmospheric style by Anthony Chen. It's good. It's a good movie. It's just
It's just okay, is what I'm getting from you.
Yeah, you want something more, but the performances absolutely carry it. And to watch Erivo and Shawkat work together is, a treat. I wish it had been.
So you, on a 10 scale, you'd give it a 7.5?
I'd give it about a 6.
Oh, wow.
6.5, but I mean that in a positive way.
Well,
honestly.
then that's a 7.
It's 7-ish, yes.
Okay,
Thank
very
you.
good.
Thank you for clarifying for me. From Scotland, we're going to go totally international now. From Scotland comes Out of Darkness, a very stark thriller set 45,000 years ago in an unidentified northern region of the world.
I love this already.
The movie opens on 6 people, early Homo sapiens, as their tiny boat comes ashore on a windswept beach. So they're desperate to start anew after seemingly escaping a treacherous circumstance. So the group's leader is eager to teach his young son how to stay alive and maybe take over for him down the road. And this guy is also trying to safeguard one of the women in the group because she's pregnant with his baby. So they're going to have to somehow survive in a harsh, unknown land. They seek shelter. So they head across a vast wasteland towards this forest and mountains that lay beyond in order to find a new home, preferably caves that are going to allow them to hunker down and defend themselves. But all the while, they're being hunted by an unknown creature or creatures. Directed by Andrew Cumming with an unflinching intent he wants to put you on the edge of your seat, and he does. Out of Darkness is as spare as the prehistoric environment its characters have to navigate. It's also kind of chilling and tense as the life or death situations faced by this band of nomads ratchets up the fear factor. The cast, largely unfamiliar to American audiences, speak convincingly in what I assume is a bygone or made-up language with English subtitles. And they bring true grit to the production, which I must caution gets a bit grisly at times. The faint-hearted might want to sit out of Darkness.
The dawn of man.
Yeah.
The birth of fear.
Thank you.
That's what the poster. I'm looking right at it.
I'm quite aware. I provided the poster to you.
I mean, it's kind of a good Albert. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, there's
The dawn of man.
There are thrills.
The birth of fear. I love it.
Yeah,
I
okay.
can't wait to see this. Where is it, in theaters?
In theaters, select theaters, and I'm sure it'll be something to watch at home soon. I would recommend this over Lisa Frankenstein, for instance.
Okay.
And I'd recommend,
Lisa Frankenstein's not scary.
Well, no, it's only
more
scary.
it's campy.
It's scary how Diablo Cody keeps getting projects and financing.
Come on, Albert. Look at that. Out of Darkness.
Well,
Looks like the kind of thing. Wouldn't you and your friends like to go there and, I don't know, you guys have a couple of beers, you go to Out of Darkness and read subtitles for a couple hours? Wouldn't that be fun, Albert?
Just an edible, Mark. Just an edible.
Just an edible. There you go.
Okay.
All right. What else do you have?
Cobweb is a slightly unhinged and circuitous movie within a movie.
Circuitous.
It's a satire that is an insider peek at the making of a Korean 1970s thriller horror movie, as its tortured wannabe auteur director tries to do a last-minute rewrite and shoot. So chaos will ensue. As if his hubris and personal demons...
Hubris and auteur, Alden.
personal demons aren't enough of a problem. He clashes with the film's haughty stars, bit players, extras, money people, beleaguered crew, and nervous producers, plus government censors who are convinced that the finished product is too lurid for release. I mean, back then, the Korean government really, and we're talking South Korea, cracked down on certain elements of culture. Sounds very communistic, but no, it was going on in South Korea as well. So the director of the actual film here is Kim Ji-woon, and he certainly displays a lot of daring, as amusing and kind of whacked out as Cobweb gets. It also occasionally gets in its own way. I mean, even it's a bit much at times and on the verge of wearing out its welcome, but I like its boldness and its delight in skewering the movie business, regardless of when or where the cameras are rolling. So you get that, that inside baseball thing, which I really enjoy on occasion.
Sure.
So this is in Korean with English subtitles. Tentative yay on Cobweb.
Okay.
Okay, my favorite movie of the bunch this week, Totem. Lila Aviles wrote, or is it Lila Aviles? She wrote and directed 2018's The Chambermaid, which is a
I really like that.
powerful and insightful look at the daily struggles of a young Mexican woman working at a high-end hotel in Mexico City while trying to improve her fortunes through adult education. It sounds a little dry, it seems potentially humdrum. It was beautiful and compelling.
It was great.
Lovely movie. Now, Aviles has brought us Totem, which is a lovely slice of life in the face of death, set in an upper-middle-class Mexican household before, during, and in the immediate aftermath of a birthday celebration. So Totem boasts a really wonderful ensemble cast, but its events are most frequently seen from the perspective of Sol, a somewhat precocious 7-year-old girl. The party is for Sol's father, Tona, and though family and friends are gathered to celebrate him and spirits are high, it quickly becomes obvious that Tona, cheered by all for his exuberance and loved by everyone in the extended family, is not a well man. So as Totem plays out, we see Saul and the rest of the attendees, especially Tona's closest relatives, as they come to grips with the inevitable. It's sweet, it's sad, and it's done with great tenderness by Aviles and her cast. I have to say, I was a bit gutted by it, but I'm so glad I watched it. I'll give Totem three tiers on the Snyder cryometer.
Wow.
And it's in select theaters. And again, this will play well at home. Totem really worked for me.
Jeez, how about that? What else do you have, Michael Snyder? Great culture blaster.
I'll just say quickly, a little quickie here about a movie called Skin Deep, which is sort of a freaky deaky film from Germany about a future time when people can go on a sort of vacation, couples, and go through a ritual that enables them to swap brains with one another.
Wow.
And that also means they can swap brains from man to woman, or they can swap brains with another man or another woman, and then recouple and I guess experience intimacy with someone new or unfamiliar.
It's a wild idea, but it just might work.
It's an interesting movie that has some really
it's definitely a wild idea.
It says some fascinating things about gender roles, and also, there's kind of a fear factor here, whereas how about if someone decides, I want to stay in this body? That's going to throw things way out of whack. And suddenly a vacation becomes, a massive life change. The movie was, released in Germany, and it came out initially in limited theaters on February 2nd, and I only got to it. It's going to be streaming, at the beginning of April. And it was directed by Alex Schad and co-written by Schad with Dmitry Schad, who may be a partner or a brother or a cousin. I didn't do the research, I'm sorry. Okay. But I thought it was really fascinating and kind of freaky and unsettling. It is difficult viewing, but I thought it was worthwhile, too.
Wow, you like Skin Deep?
In German with some English, and of course subtitles will enable you to navigate the foreign language if you don't speak it.
Do you want to touch on a couple of TV things before we're running desperately out of time?
Yeah, I'll do it really quickly because I'm getting such a kick out of this one series, which I've been watching off and on, Clone High, which is on Max, the former HBO Max.
Yeah.
It's a frankly hilarious animated high school comedy that debuted with one terrific 13-episode season on MTV in 2002, and then disappeared until being brought back last year on Max with 10 new episodes.
Wow.
So Clone High, which, by the way, was created by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller of the Lego Movie and the Oscar-winning Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, along with a sitcom vet named Bill Lawrence, just came back for yet another run of 10 episodes, so it's the third series. The premise, which is sure to offend some people, get ready, is that a secret cabal of demented scientists have launched an experiment wherein they scraped up the DNA of famous people throughout history and grew clones of them. And when the clones reach their teens, they're all enrolled in a special high school where they interact with one another under the observation of the scientists. So the classmates include Abe Lincoln, who's sort of emo, right? Joan of Arc, who's desperate for validation. JFK, who is played as a swaggering jock, plus Cleopatra, the entitled rich girl in the group. These are familiar high school characters and tropes, right? Harriet Tubman, Gandhi, Frida Kahlo, Confucius. I mean, they're all exposed to modern tech and society with very funny results. And the animation itself is very, CalArts 2D, and the whole enterprise is delightfully raucous. Let me give you an idea of the voice actors involved here. Will Forte, Nicole Sullivan, Ayo Edebiri, who is so big now. She just got the Emmy for The Bear. She voices Harriet Tubman, for instance. Stephen Root, Darcy Carden, and Richard Kind. They're some of the regulars. Special guests include, and there's going to be a Bay Area connection, Mandy Moore, John Stamos, Jack Black, David Tennant, Michael Bolton, Randall Park, and Steve Kerr playing himself.
Oh, that's really great.
Warriors coach Steve Kerr is on Clone High.
That's
I
really
totally
great.
enjoyed it. I just wanted to...
Wow, well, check it out. It's on Max, the animated high school comedy with a star-studded voice cast and a really fun premise. Also, Skin Deep, the Culture Blaster reviewed. It's the German futuristic brain swap premise. Sounds out there, but Michael says it's intriguing.
It is. It's very deliberate in its pacing, but it's also pretty fascinating. And again, it's kind of an examination of gender roles on some level.
Totem, the second feature by that terrific Mexican filmmaker, Lila Avilés.
Thank you for the proper pronunciation.
It has the accent at the end there, so that's why I did that. I will tell you that I was impressed with Michael's offering of the review for Totem, saying that he really felt she again, Avilés, hit the ball. And he does say, prepare to be moved emotionally.
Absolutely. It's my favorite film of everything we discussed today.
Cobweb. Did we review that?
Yeah, we did. It's
Oh, yeah, that's
fun and raucous
the
Korean.
inside the South Korean movie.
Yeah. Early 70s, horror
Yes.
film being made.
Yeah, you liked it.
Yeah.
You really did.
Not as much as I like Totem, but yeah, I thought it was cool.
Yeah. Out of Darkness, the scary, prehistoric sort of dawn of man.
Odyssey of Survival.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, Out of Darkness. He really thought it was intriguing. I think maybe that's the way to put it. I don't know that you loved it, felt like you liked it.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Drift, the Cynthia Erivo led drama with the destitute refugee. She meets another refugee.
Well, she's sort of a refugee. She's more of a freebooter. She's one of them rootless people. She's like a tour guide on the island, Aaliyah Shawkat.
He said it was okay.
Yeah, the performances carried it for me. These, again, like last week, I was over the moon for quite a few more films.
This is more of a meh week.
Yeah, generally speaking, although there is quality.
Yeah, there sure is. You love Totem, and we've talked about it. You love that clone, High, etc. Lisa Frankenstein, the Diablo Cody written offering, directed by Zelda Williams, who is the daughter of Robin Williams.
Indeed.
Michael felt it missed. He wanted it to be good. With that kind of pedigree, he really was rooting for it to be good. Might say even praying for it to be good.
I was on my knees. I was on my knees, Mark.
Sadly, it was not good, he felt.
Actually, I was on my knees praying for a Niner victory.
Let me ask you about this in this context that came in over the chat.
Okay.
And that is Lisa Frankenstein. This is from Think It Through. Think says, Lisa Frankenstein sounds like Rocky Horror. Like, could this become, even though it's not good from the standpoint of your seat as a critic, could it become campy and cool and catchy over the years?
If it was as funny and original as the Rocky Horror Picture Show with memorable songs that people could stand up and sing at midnight showings, I would say yes. But it's kind of, you know what? It's also, in addition to being like a mech comedy and a take on, teen horror, movies of the 80s, it's kind of a pastiche because she's pulling things together and putting them, very much like Dr. Frankenstein himself. We'll take a piece of this movie and a piece of this movie, and we'll give it a brain. Unfortunately, the brain has a low IQ.
I am sorry that it missed, Michael, but I love your reviews nonetheless. I hope that your prediction for Sunday, have you offered it?
I have not.
I hope that your prediction for Sunday is a Niners victory.
Niners by at least one score. Please, I'm begging you, gentlemen.
Well, that was less of a prediction and more of a plea.
Again, I was on my knees. It wasn't to pray for a good movie.
He comes and goes on a rainbow. How about it for the culture blaster, Michael Snyder?
Go Niners, everybody, and happy Mardi Gras, everyone.
Go Niners, and he cannot get off that Mardi Gras. Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.